Ifa Dreams Media timakunyadirani kwambiri chifukwa munapanga chisankho chotsatira ife kuti tizikupatsirani zonse zomwe zikuchitika m'dziko muno.
Item 3, Government Business, Ministerial Statement.
Order.
The Honorable Minister of Natural Resources,
Minister of
Energy and Mining to present a statement on the state of electricity and fuel in the country.
Honorable Minister, apologies, we took you to the podium before the table clerk had read the statement. They have just done that. You have the floor to address the House. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, let me begin by sincerely thanking you for giving me this opportunity to deliver a statement on the current power and fuel supply situation in our country, as well as to outline the short and medium-term measures that government is putting in place. My statement will mainly focus on two key areas: electricity access and the supply of liquid fuels. Honorable Deputy Speaker, our nation is facing a power supply crisis. The current electricity supply situation is far from desirable. Demand has always surpassed supply and forcing us to implement scheduled load shedding, and particularly during the evening and morning peak hours. As of 21st October 2025, the maximum system demand stood at 420 megawatts, and Malawi's installed generation capacity is at 551 megawatts, and composed of the following: 398 megawatt hydro, where we generate our electricity along the Shire River at Nkula, Tedzani, and Kapichira, and 101 megawatts solar power, 52 megawatt diesel generation. Additionally, we import about 8 megawatts from Zambia and Mozambique, bringing the total to 551 megawatt. However, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the available capacity is estimated at 341.8 megawatt, and this is significantly lower than the installed capacity. The solar power, for instance, is intimate and available only during sunlight hours, and this is so because of lack of batteries for storage. Faults and plant maintenance further reduce available capacity. Currently, Tedzan 3 Unit 5, which contributes 31 megawatts, has been out of service since December 2024. And I repeat, Tedzan 3 Unit 5, which contributes 31 megawatt, has been out of service since December 2024 due to a burnt stator winding. And the shortage of foreign exchange delayed the procurement of critical spare parts, worsening the situation. Mr. Deputy Speaker, this is also compounded by the rising electricity demand, particularly during this agro-processing season for tobacco, tea, and sugar industries that consume a substantial share of national electricity. Aging infrastructure in generation, transmission, and distribution has also led to frequent blackouts. Furthermore, fuel shortages have hampered maintenance efforts, causing delays in fault clearance and limiting generation from diesel peaking plants. Honorable Deputy Speaker, government will take decisive short as well as long-term actions. And in the short term, government is laying the foundation to reduce electricity blackouts. Firstly, we are working to restore all generation machines at Ejenko. The unavailable 31 megawatt at Tedzani 3 will be fully restored by December 2025. As the required spare parts have already been procured and will arrive this month end. Please note that government has intensified maintenance in the readiness for the rainy season, hence leading to more load shedding. Honorable Deputy Speaker, additionally, government through the Salima Solar Power Plant will add 10 megawatt to the grid by December this year, 2025. With an additional 2.5 megawatt hour battery storage to be commissioned by March 2026. We need this because we need to stabilize the mix of the power in the grid. Thirdly, the Mozambique-Malawi interconnector to be commissioned in the first quarter of 2026 will enable us to import up to 50 megawatt of power. Furthermore, Riply, under an independent power producer IPP arrangement, will commission a 10 megawatt biomass power plant. By this month end, we are going to inject into the grid another 10 megawatt from the bypass. Now, to stabilize the grid, Honorable Deputy Speaker, to stabilize the grid, a 20 megawatt battery energy storage system base will also be commissioned by March 2026. And this is so to mitigate load shedding, customers are grouped and rotated to ensure fair distribution of available power. Industrial consumers and essential facilities such as hospitals are the last to be affected during scheduled outages. Honorable Deputy Speaker, in the long term, government is laying a solid foundation for lasting electricity security and industrial growth. We cannot begin to talk about industrial growth without adequate power. So construction of a 358.5 megawatt Patamanga hydropower project will commence in 2026 under a public-private partnership arrangement. This flagship project will significantly boost national capacity and allow Malawi to export power through the regional interconnectors. The Ejenko Salima Nanjoka Solar Power Plant will be expanded from the current 10 megawatt to 50 megawatt with 8 megawatt hour battery storage by 2029. And the Wavi hydropower plant, which is currently at 4.5 megawatt, will be expanded to 9 megawatt. Government will facilitate the implementation of the 300 megawatt Kamwamba coal-fired power project under an IPP model to provide stable power for industrial use. In addition, we are supporting IPPs, these are independent power producers, with signed power purchase agreements. We've got several of them in solar, hydro, wind, and gas to accelerate diversification of the energy mix. Through the Malawi Emergency Power Restoration Project, damaged transmissions and distribution infrastructure will be rehabilitated to improve reliability and resilience. Collectively, these interventions will substantially reduce load shedding, improve reliability, and create a stronger platform for Malawi's economic transformation. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, I'll now turn to fuel supply. The country has recently or is recently experiencing shortages, primarily due to the following. One, limited foreign currency allocations, which constrained financing for the imports. This has consequently resulted into government through NOCMA owing a lot of money to fuel suppliers. Two, limited access to international seaports. 3, depleted storage reserves. And 4, limited capacity of local transporters. And the situation was worsened by recent unrest in Tanzania following elections and by the transition from the open tender system of procurement to a government-to-government procurement model. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, despite these, government is working tirelessly to normalize the situation. We know we have inherited this mess. But we have inherited this mess. And we're not going to run away from responsibility. We are here to solve this. And we'll solve. Our priority is to ensure that the imports consistently meet national demand by 1, increasing the allocation of foreign exchange for fuel imports. 2, improving accessibility of Malawi to seaports through constant engagement with neighboring countries. 3, ensuring that there is cost-reflective tariff. 4, reverting to the open tender system to enhance efficiency, transparency, and value for money. 5, diversifying importers to promote competition and reduce dependency on a few suppliers. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, my ministry is taking the following measures to ensure stable fuel availability, fair pricing, and stronger national energy security, which are critical to sustaining economic growth. As I said earlier on, we cannot begin to talk of meaningful strides towards industries in Malawi without adequate energy. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, in an effort to stabilize fuel supply due to shortage of forex, my ministry has intensified consultations with the Ministry of Finance, Reserve Bank of Malawi, and local commercial banks to secure increased foreign exchange allocations for financing fuel imports. Government has also engaged multilateral banks for a credit facility in the ranges of about $120 million to $150 million to stabilize the current fuel situation and for restocking our fuel reserves. The ongoing consultations with Ministry of Finance, Reserve Bank of Malawi, and local commercial banks will address this matter and permit continuous loadings in November to December. Let me assure Malawians that the country will continue to get fuel despite these challenges. And as we sit today in this House, between today and Friday, this coming Friday, the 14th, the country will receive 92 trucks of fuel, translating to we are expecting 92 trucks to jet in between today and Friday. And you are free to, and this is translating to 3,250,000 liters of fuel. Yes, that's between today and Friday. But we continue to get. Deputy.
Honour members, order. Order to my left and order to my right. The Honourable Minister is delivering a very important piece of statement that Malawians are listening out there. So let's accord her the dignity she deserves. Thank you very much.
Deputy Speaker, sir, with the country's reserves of 92 million liters, having been depleted last year in July 2024. I will repeat this. Our strategic reserves of fuel were depleted in July 2024, that's last year. And this government has inherited a hand-to-mouth situation in fuel supply situation. As imports are currently being released on arrival towards day-to-day consumption, we are storing nothing in our reserves. And as we speak, there is 0 liters in the stocks. In the month of October, Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, in the month of October 2025, stock cover did not exceed 2 days for petrol and 2.5 days for diesel. Any delay in loading and transportation of fuel from the ports create fuel shortages as the country has no stocks in strategic reserves. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, the ministry is working with Ministry of Finance, Economic Development and Decentralization as they explore a mechanism to avail financing that can be utilized in restocking the strategic reserves. On this matter, engagements with Afrexim Bank are also promising. While not relying on the local banks only, we have also explored Afrexim Bank. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, fuel products were being sold at non-cost-effective tariff due to non-implementation of automatic price mechanism, which made our fuels prices being lower than our neighboring countries, hence making our fuel to be smuggled into neighboring countries. And expected impact of this is a huge growth in consumption. From an average consumption of 52 million liters per month in 2024 to 65 million liters per month in 2025. I will repeat that. The fuel appetite rose so much from 52 million liters per month in 2024 to 65 million liters per month in 2025. It was a jump. A highest figure of imports on record of 81 million was reached in August 2025. This trend places considerable pressure on the scarce forex. And the ministry, through MERA, has immediately started implementing the automatic price management, which has reduced the malpractice of smuggling. My ministry will ensure consistent adherence to the price management, the automatic price management. And my minister also ensure that allocation of forex to fuel imports is also prioritized and not to deprive other deserving sectors of the much needed forex. The ministry has also engaged our security agents to intensify monitoring in order to curb this malpractice. Honorable Deputy Speaker, as a ministry, we have taken this seriously. We will not sit and watch people getting our fuel and depriving the deserving people to get the fuel. As such, we have engaged the Malawi Defense Force as well as Malawi Police. We are aware that vehicles are queuing just to fuel and go and pump the fuel out of the vehicles. And we know there's fuel in these neighborhoods. So don't be surprised if you see our security agents going around to check what is happening. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, Malawi, being a landlocked country, has faced some unjustified accessibility challenges, leading to delays in docking of vessels carrying fuel products at the ports of Dar es Salaam, Tanga and Twala in Tanzania, Nakala and Beira in Mozambique, thereby affecting fuel supplies in Malawi. In fact, sometimes a ship can be made to wait for offloading at these ports for over 30 days. thereby critically affecting our fuel supplies in the country. This is being solved by continuous engagements between Malawi government and governments of neighboring countries. My ministry will prioritize engagement with Mozambique so that Malawi can secure land in Akhala for developing our country's dedicated storage facilities for fuel, thus increasing utilization of the rail to transport fuel into the country. Honorable Speaker, sir, logistical capacity challenges continue, and we have also got challenges with our local transporters. Malawian transporters continue to face capacity issues, such as numbers of trucks in good condition to carry fuel products from seaports to Malawi. We do not have adequate trucks in Malawi to do that job. This is attributed equally to failure of the previous government to oversee consistent adherence to automatic price adjustment mechanisms. This has made my ministry to largely depend on international foreign transporters to transport fuel into Malawi, and this leads to a further demand on forex. In conclusion, Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, the current power and fuel supply situation is indeed worrisome for a nation aspiring to achieve middle-income status. And as we all know, energy is the lifeline of any economy. So while some logistical issues can be addressed quickly, sustainable improvement will depend on adequate foreign exchange allocation, investment in infrastructure, and maintaining strong relationships with our neighboring countries and key stakeholders in energy sector. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, I therefore call for collective commitment from all players to implement the immediate restoration and expansion plans I have outlined. My ministry is currently seized with overseeing an immediate return to fuel supply normalcy. This will be speedily achieved. I repeat, this will be speedily achieved. Together, we can stabilize our energy sector and power Malawi's path to industry and prosperity. Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, I submit. Thank you.
tikuyamikeni komanso kuthokozani popanga chisankho chokhala pamenepa kumvetsera komanso kuonera zomwe takubweretserani. Chomwe tingakupempheni choti ngati muli alendo pamudzi pano tapangani subscribe, chifukwa mukatero inu ndife tidzendera limodzi kuyambira lero mpaka na masiku omwe akubwera kusogoloko. Timabweratu ndi nkhani zochokera ngodya zonse zinayi za mdziko lino, kotero kuti inu simukuyenera kuti mukhale kunja kwa nkhani zimenezi. Tapangani subscribe, like, comment komanso share kuti tikhale limodzi mu ulendo umenewu.